After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Just go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Wednesday night. Hope everyone's well out there. Hello to everyone in the chat. I see all the names popping up. Oh, did Fred change his name? Fozzie. Change his name. I don't know if I like it. Actually, it's a lot better because calling you AAU girls basketball it's always been weird. So thank you for changing your name finally. Peeps, Lolly, Carrie, Jedi, Sanity, Time Lady, welcome. Jay Rigger's Love Slave, always welcome. Who else we got? Ed. I saw Heather. Heather, how you doing? How you doing, Heather? Michelle, Johnny, all the usual suspects. Jen's in the house. Jay. Hey, Jay. All right, Legal Fiction. What's up? All right, let's go. Let's go, Sparkle Poots. All right, you gotta stop laughing. Gotta get it together. Got a serious case. This is part 2 of this man's sentencing. We did part 1 last week. Oh, I am gonna say that part 1 was very undercovered. Not a lot of people posted it. I have it in the description if you guys want to watch the first part of it. Part 2, however, got a little bit more traction. It's out there. So you may have seen this already. It's a longer video. If you have seen it, hang out with us, talk with us about it. It's a very high emotional case with a lot of weird turns, especially today. All right. I do have a little appetizer before we start it. It's the case right before it. I decided to keep it in because the guy's kind of silly. But before I hit that play button, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe and do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Petterprin. Can you state your name, please?
Patrick Clayton Petterprin. All right. Go ahead.
Your Honor, Mr. Petterprin and the Public Defender's Office is kind of at an impasse. He would like to withdraw his plea. We have no legal basis to do so. At this point, I think maybe new counsel needs to be appointed if he wants to do so, because we don't necessarily agree with that strategy.
Was this a felony that came down?
This is misdemeanor, I do believe.
Yeah, it was an OWI second.
Okay. And you're wishing to withdraw your plea, but defense counsel in good conscience can't file that.
They're saying that the only way that they would be able to file it would be via the ineffective assistance. And that is not exactly what I've been trying to say, but it's rather hard to do so. I don't want to waste the court's time. I guess I also don't want to waste my time. I've been in here about 6 months. So with that being said, I guess if I have a question as far as if I did file for the ineffective assistance to see where we could go from there. As far as my representation, would I be able to represent myself, or do I have to wait on representation from another firm that would do this pro bono?
All right, everybody out there. I think I remember this guy. He tried to get this is from months ago. He was always very polite in court, but he ran, I believe he ran from the police. and they're like, we're not giving you an affordable bond because you ran. After whatever he did, I believe he ran, and it was like the third time he ran from the police. So not only did whatever happen, but it was his third time running. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna be in jail till the end of this case. I think this is that guy. I really do. The beard kind of gives it away, and that's who I remember.
Well, are you asking that? I mean, I don't know that a motion has been filed before the court for the withdrawal of the public defender. So they're still on the case, but I'm trying to figure out
And if
what the issue is.
And if Mr. Prediprint does not want to move forward with sentencing today, I think that's the only viable next step is for the public defender's office to withdraw, because we don't agree on the strategy moving forward.
Well,
Your Honor.
no, I understand that part. I'm just trying to figure out why. Or is there a basis upon which you're seeking to withdraw your plea, sir?
Yes, if I may, I have some notes here that I wrote down. I'll keep them brief.
Please.
All right. Now, I won't even go all over. As far as my my desire to withdraw the plea, I have several things written down, but as I said, I'll try to keep it brief. For one, and I'd say the main, the fact that several of the gentlemen I was engaged with an altercation. Several of the gentlemen I was engaged with in an altercation on the night in question were moved to my blocks days, if not the night prior to my arraignment and or pre-sentencing preliminary hearings and so forth. Has to do with why I would like to withdraw my no contest if necessary. And to explain that, I would say that, I would say that being that it can be hard to communicate or even think, while being incarcerated and different things like that are things that would, make it hard for me to make the proper decision, but I did not plead guilty. And that's why I believe that the no contest plea it'd certainly be, I would feel, now granted I have not passed the bar exam or anything like that, but I feel that it would be easier to withdraw a plea of no contest than a guilty or not guilty plea. That being said, there were other issues with the offense in general. As far as, like I said, it was, the offense is a driving or operating while intoxicated. And I was not in my vehicle. I did not have keys in my vehicle. I had not hit anything on the road that would indicate that I had caused a drunk driving.
Let me just stop you there.
Sure.
Because I'm not sure that these are forming any basis on whatever. Do you want to be represented by the public defender's office or not?
Well, again, I'll ask my question again. If we do
I'm not going to answer your questions. I just need to know, do you want to be represented by the public defender's office or not?
Well, in order for me to give you that answer,
Okay, then you won't give me an answer. Here's what I'm going to do.
Here's my answer.
Counsel, no. Stop.
No?
Stop.
I'm not allowed?
Right now, no. Miss Attorney, your office makes a decision as to whether or not they want to withdraw. I'm going to adjourn the sentencing out, and you folks have to decide whether we're proceeding with sentencing or not, or whether or not he's going to file a motion to withdraw.
I asked if I could represent myself if they were taken off. You didn't answer that question for me.
They can explain that to you. Sentencing in this matter will be adjourned.
To what date?
February 14th,
What day?
2024. What time? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Thank you. Bond
Thank you.
continue.
Thank you, John.
All right. That was a little, teaser. Now we're going to do the main case. just a recap. If anyone did not see part 1, this is what transpired in part 1. There was a sentencing. The defendant was charged. Well, he took a plea deal for leaving the scene of a property damage accident. That's what he took a plea deal for. He got hit by a car with a couple young ladies in it. They took off and they ended up crashing and passing away. They were trying to charge the defendant with some kind of, I don't know what the original charges were, but because he chased them, they were trying to charge him with something. And the prosecutor ended up giving a plea deal for accepting fault for leaving the scene of a property damage accident. Now, during the sentencing, which was part 1, again, links below. If you haven't seen part 1, you might want to go watch that because it'll answer a lot of questions. I'm just giving a quick recap. So, the victims, even the victim advocate, maybe, I don't know, they were trying to push for jail time on it. And the defense attorney came in and said, this isn't fair. If you're going to give him jail time for this minor misdemeanor, we never would have accepted this plea deal. So if you're going to accept this plea deal, you can't also accept all this testimony from the victims and use that towards sentencing. So it was obviously a really difficult case because people lost their lives. We had a lot of discussion about it, up and down in the comments and Discord, even while I was live doing the video. So it's already a difficult case. So this is part 2. They adjourned it because Judge Simpson wanted to get more information of what he was actually sentencing on. Because the defense attorney did a really good job in saying, hey, we're going to withdraw our plea and just take this to trial. If you're going to sentence him on, the people passing away when he didn't accept that plea, then we're going to withdraw a plea and take it to trial. So this is part 2 of the sentencing. Again, part 1, check out the description. The link is in the description for part 1. All right. This is part 2.
You smile at me. This one? This is.
What up? No.
Vincent walked in. I'm lost now. Court calls the case. People versus Marlon Sierra Sevilla.
Teresa Clara on behalf of probation. Your Honor, Mr. Sierra Sevilla was scheduled before the court for final conclusion on a prosecutor deferred sentence. He did complete all terms ordered by the court, and I did waive his appearance. Probation's recommending that the court dismiss the case pursuant to the prosecutor deferred and discharge from probation with improvement.
Hearing no objection, so ordered.
All right, I'm a little ahead.
And then
I didn't realize I kept
Taurus, and then might as well do Taurus.
Sorry, I'm talking over the judge. I didn't realize I kept in the little small cases. I hope it's next. It should be next.
Taurus. Freeman's got Vincent. Did Nasser appear back yet?
No.
Well, let's do this one. Court does call the case of People versus John Torres.
Patricia Reiser on behalf of the people.
Good morning once again, Judge Joshua Van Lon on behalf of Mr. Torres, who's present in court.
Torres, can you state your name?
John Torres.
All right. I understand a couple of things. First of all, that just call them the moms they're present in the courtroom. I know you addressed the court the last time and we adjourned it out for reasons. Was there anything else either of you want to tell the court? Again, you most certainly can address me again. I want to make sure you get.
statement that we wrote was kind of addressing everything for all of us. Sherry, the other mom, they had car trouble, so she's watching it on there too.
Oh, okay, very good, very good. All right, so there was nothing else you wanted to indicate. But let me say a couple of things to you so that you kind of understand, and if you want to address the court after I say what I say, then certainly you may. First thing is that
Yes.
court went back and I reviewed the police report and other documentation that was given to me because there were two sort of versions of events which would lead me to different conclusions. One version of the events is that Mr. Torres was nowhere near the accident scene at the time. My position initially on reading the initial reports in this was that, okay, he may not have been, but the cause of the accident was because of what had transpired. Now, part of my initial analysis of that would have been what I understood at the time to be his proximity to the accident. There was some discussion the last time, I don't know if you recall, but there was some discussion the last time regarding that proximity. There was then also a discussion as to, which complicates this matter a bit more, that there are actually two accidents that occurred. There's the initial accident, which was basically the bumping into the rear of the vehicle, the rear end collision, and then the ultimate tragic accident that occurred. That's also part of the complication, okay? The next part of the complication comes in that what the original charges were, what the ultimately pled to, and again, there was certainly advocated by the defense that he should be sentenced in accord with the failure to stop an ID at a property damage accident, as opposed to the other accident. I needed, between the last time that we were here and today, a clarification as to what exactly Mr. Torres pled to. Because again, depending on what he pled to, those lead to two different results. I've had discussions with defense counsel in the prosecutor's office, and my understanding, and counsel can correct me if I'm wrong, that what Mr. Torres pled to was the original fender bender or the rear end collision, and not the ultimate tragedy that occurred in terms of that accident. That further, the reason for that was because of his lack of proximity to the ultimate accident. That the data and other information revealed that he was nowhere near or not at all close to the scene of the accident that occurred. Now, having said all of that, I will let you know that changes this court's conclusion about sentencing in this matter, and would certainly cause the court to depart from the recommendation that probation, who I think was under the same assumption that I was under, had come to regarding the sentencing in this case. So having said all of that, I don't know, and I guess, Mr. Torres, if you could have a seat, folks, I realize one of moms is not here. She's watching on YouTube. If she wanted to sign in and address the court, certainly she may. No, right at the table, right here. I've
All right, in between, I'm gonna try to pause it at appropriate times. I want to keep up with the super chats. Time Lady, thank you so much for the $4.99. My heart goes out to the families, but I want things to be done right by the defendant. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have a lot of opinions at the end of this. Crazy old lady. Oh my, I'm late again. Right at the beginning. Got it right at the beginning. And thank you, Jen and Pierre, for the gifted subs. Pierre with the 5, Jen with the 1. Thank you so much for sharing the love amongst the community. I love it. Yes, the part 1 is linked in the description. If you haven't seen part 1, you're not gonna. I mean, you're gonna be able to. I'm stuttering. You're gonna be able to piece it together what happened from watching this. But part 1 is very important because they go through a lot more detail about what happened, like about why the procedure has taken the course that it has. They talk a lot more about the accident in this video than they did the first one, but you will understand why it was pushed to today to adjourn the sentencing. I think I worded that correctly. All right, let's go.
stated what I've said. Did you have any questions for me? Okay, come, I need you to, it's okay. I figured you might, and so I want to make sure I address the question.
So, one of the questions. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Can you state your name first?
Yes, Christy Green.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You're welcome. So when you say like he wasn't, his proximity to the accident, are you talking about the second accident?
I'm talking about the second accident. So,
Okay.
So just so you understand where I'm coming from and what I now
Yep.
see, there's the rear end collision, right? And then after that rear end collision, the first car, which your daughter was in, takes off. That Mr. Torres, as I understand the facts now, goes some distance, but isn't in the area when the accident, the fatality occurs. Which is a whole different impression than what I had initially.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. So are you aware that the first accident, it just wasn't a hit and run? That there was actually video footage that my daughter got out and they went back and forth. They spoke.
You want to take your time, please.
And he took a picture of her license
Hold on,
plate.
I'm gonna let her come up with you. And we'll get to it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So are you aware that it wasn't a hit and run because there's two different police reports, right? So there's Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti had it as a hit and run, but then there was a fatality through Superior Township, right? So
The sheriff's department, right?
So when they investigated, because we had sat down with the prosecuting attorneys and we went through this and we actually asked quite a few questions when they were originally dropping the charges from the misdemeanors. But they called us in to sit down and discuss all this a while ago. So at that point, we asked quite a few questions. And it's my understanding that from Eastern, there's video footages that see when my daughter hit him, they stopped. They got out of the vehicle, they went back and forth. The detective had Mr. Torres's phone and verified that there was a picture of the license plate that was taken in his phone prior to him chasing them or following them or whatever it is that we're calling that right now. Are you aware of that?
Well,
Yeah, here's the thing. The moms come in and start changing the facts of what was pushed in the first hearing. The first hearing, they were just say the moms just sat back and said, you know, we miss our daughters. This is what happened. Please punish this man. And the defense attorney came forward and said, this is the plea that we accepted. We accepted the plea that the prosecutor gave us for leaving the scene of a property damage accident. We were not charged with the unfortunate passing of your daughters. Therefore, it's not fair to punish us based on that. And that's why they adjourned it. Now, the moms are coming through and they're saying different facts. This is a sentencing. I'm going to say this right now. I think the moms kind of took over this hearing. And Judge Simpson is the kind of person to be like, I'm going to listen to everybody and I'm going to do what I think is right, which is, you know, why he's elected, why he's a judge. But I do feel that the moms put a lot of facts out there that don't have to do with the sentencing. I'm going to say that it's a tragedy all the way around. But I agree with whoever said it earlier that this kind of got out of hand, and I do agree with that.
which part? I'm aware, let me tell you what I am aware.
Okay.
As at least, again, as I understand it, that there's the initial accident.
Yep.
My understanding is that there was some contact between the parties to that.
Okay.
That it wasn't what one would describe as a hit and run.
Okay.
Somebody took off,
Yep.
right? And again, so that at least you're clear, and I want to be clear as to how I'm looking at it, that what Mr. Torres ultimately pled to was not what it could be, a hit and run, but was not a hit and run. It was basically failure to stop at the scene of a property damage accident, because the law requires that certain things have to occur, or the person has to do something
The first
at the
accident.
scene, right?
Okay. So then you said something about the second accident. So all we're talking about is the first accident, because you said he wasn't in proximity of the second accident, and I don't know how.
That's what the data, that's what I see from the data.
Okay, so the first driveway, if you're to pull on that street, he would very clearly been able to see what happened. So I just want to make sure we're not talking about that, because I don't.
See what happened, okay.
The second accident?
The second accident?
Yes. He was with it.
Whether or not one could see it or not, he was not in proximity to that accident.
What would you consider proximity?
That he's a distance from that accident.
What just
So what, well, I can't give you I can't lay it out by feet or anything like that, so I can't say that. What my understanding, the facts are, is that he's some distance from when the accident occurs. Now, hold that thought for a moment, okay? Because my initial reading of this was that the cars take off, right?
Mhm.
And that he is indeed following them, but doesn't stop.
Correct.
Right? My understanding is he stops at some point and the accident occurs further down. But at the point that happens, he's not, where do you want to?
No, Carrie, the victim impact statements were part 1. So these aren't victim impact statements anymore. This whole hearing was adjourned. This whole sentencing was adjourned because Judge Simpson wanted to understand what he was sentencing this man for. Because the defense attorney did a really good job for the defendant 2 weeks ago or last week, whenever it was, and said that we're gonna withdraw our plea if we're gonna be sentenced based on what happened in the second crash. when all we're pleading to is what happened in the first crash. So that's when Judge Simpson adjourned it till today. Now, my heart goes out for the moms, but they're pushing the facts of the case now for the second crash, and not necessarily just the second crash, but they're saying a lot about the first crash too. That's already been pled to. The plea was already accepted by all parties, the defendant, the prosecutor, and the judge. So they're trying to figure out what the crime's or what the punishment's going to be now, and he pled to a misdemeanor. So the most he could spend is, what is it in Michigan, 93 days in jail. So the moms, the victims' parents, are asking for him to be sentenced to 93 days in jail, is what they're asking. It's what they asked for in the original sentencing video. All right. And Bruce, I saw your comment earlier. He should be punished for what he did, for what the crime was, and I agree with that. I see your point, and I do agree with it. But he pled to leaving the scene of a property damage accident, and the victim's parents are trying to get him to suffer the punishment of fatalities when that wasn't what he pled to. That was accepted by the prosecutor and the judge. So it's a very, very difficult case all around. The details of this case are horrifying. So I'm not going to say that you're wrong in saying that, because I do agree with you. But I do also agree with the defense attorney saying we should be allowed to withdraw our plea if you're going to sentence us based on these young ladies losing their lives when this isn't what was accepted. I see every side of this, and it's a sad, sad case.
Calling in pursuit, chasing, following. He's not doing that at that point. That's my understanding now. Now, if you believe that there's something that says something different, then I certainly want to see it. But that is, when I'm now looking at everything, that's what I see.
Okay, I don't believe his vehicle. I think it was too old to have a black box in it that would show where he actually was.
That's the data from the accident reconstructionist says something different than what my impression was. That's what I'm.
Okay, so then maybe I didn't see that, but the driveway that he clearly stated he pulled in, I would say is 10 car lengths, 10 car spaces from where the accident happened. So you can say close proximity, not close proximity. We could all have a different understanding of that. So I disagree with that statement, because I think it's based on how we would personally look at it. So I just wanted to clarify that, but I don't know that that's going to make a difference in what we're doing sentencing right now for.
Let me just tell you this, ma'am. And I'm just kind of a straight shooter about things.
I appreciate that.
This whole case troubles me, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I guess it would be great doing this job if I weren't a human, because then I don't have to deal with things that I have to set aside in my mind.
I understand.
Parent to parent, I'll just say this. After we were here the first time, I could only think about my daughter. And that I would want something to happen. I'm not even sure if I were, I'm not even sure what I would want, right?
Yeah.
But that I would. And I had to kind of, people I think that when judges leave the bench, we kind of leave everything behind us and we don't think about things. This one has been with me. I want to say a lot, but I think it's been sitting in the background and on just all my thoughts. But I also realized in great part, setting that emotion aside, I realized I had to do my job, right? And I also realized that if I could, but I know I can't, that I don't have the power to bring back who you lost. It, in a lot of ways, sitting here is a helpless feeling because it really doesn't matter what I do.
How I feel. That's how I feel.
I can't make it right. And I know I can't.
All right. I can answer this one. I gotta pause it every few minutes because this video has been played multiple times by other channels. So I gotta pause it more often than normal. The prosecution offered this because they couldn't take it to trial. So they offered this sweetheart deal to the defendant because they couldn't prove any of the things they were trying to charge. Because at the end of the day, was it 2 or 3? I don't remember. I think it was 3 people in the car, 2 people passed away, and 1 person still in the hospital. Something like that. But the prosecutor could not take it to trial because they couldn't prove what they were trying to charge. So that's why they offered the deal, which the defense accepted. And now they're trying to charge him at the high end of everything. And now they're bringing in the details of the case during sentencing, which doesn't happen. And Judge Simpson's letting us go because he wants the moms to be heard. Now, I know, no. I've seen the end too. And no, I'm not trying to freak you out. The end does happen, and we will see it here shortly. So don't think I'm ignoring you. No. I love you, man. Not ignoring you.
I realized that being limited in that regard, that all I can do is try to make the correct decision. And while this may sound crass, I don't mean it this way, but it's the best words that I can come up with, and then let that fall where it may. And the way for me to do that is to try to make sure I have a clear understanding of, as best I can, what happened. If, and I said this before, if my impression that I had initially was that there's the rear end collision, and then at some point this chase happens, and I purposely use that word chase happens, then the consequence of that chase may rest with Mr. Torres, right? That's one scenario. The other scenario is the initial accident happens, and then there may be this brief moment and you're right, they're out of the vehicles at some point. Then there's this brief moment where the vehicle takes off. He may even be headed in the same direction, but then stops, calls the police. Under that scenario, he wouldn't then be attributable, or it wouldn't be attributable to him, and he wouldn't be the cause of it. When I went back, and like I said, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And when I went back and looked at everything, it's that second scenario that I'm seeing. And if you think that there's something else that I should look, I looked at everything, but if you want me to look at something else before I close sentence, I will do it. I mean, I don't know that it would lead me to anything different. But I will say this, I also didn't think looking at it again would lead me away from the first conclusion I had.
Yeah.
Right? But if there's something you think that I should look at, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not, like I said,
For leaving.
in the end, I can't bring your daughter back. I can't bestow upon you just peace and solace, and I can't do that. But what I can do is at least have you believe that somebody looked at it and looked at everything and that you were heard. That I can do. And if that's what you want me to do, I will do it. When they told me, and I know when we adjourned it out, I was informed by the victim's advocate that you guys were on your way and that you were stuck in traffic or something like that. And my words were, we'll wait. I could have gone ahead because you've already addressed the court, but I said, no, I'm going to wait because I want to make sure that they're heard.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
All right.
Can you grab my phone? I want to make sure that Sherry, she's watching. I want to make sure that she doesn't have anything to say. So the question that you're asking about.
You're in communication with her then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's watching on Zoom.
Did she want to sign in? I mean,
That's what I'm trying to find out right now.
Okay.
So the question is for if
Go ahead. You can message her if you want.
if I want you to look at additional evidence. We're talking about evidence on just the first leaving the scene of the accident. What is being charged for? Is that what you're asking me?
No, what I'm asking you is that if you think that there's something I'm not seeing that would lead me to change my view of now what I have about causation, I'll look at it. I don't have a problem doing it.
Okay.
And so that's maybe to better answer your question, it's that period between the first accident and the second accident. That time frame.
Okay. I don't know if you want me to step out and make a call or if you want me to do it from right here.
You want to call her to see?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to step out, you can make a call. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Sort of briefly pass them. Doris, you can remain right there.
All right. Temperature check. How's everyone doing? Really tough case. I've already let you know my opinions on it. They might change by the end because we're going to hear some things, but I still feel strongly that the defendant pled to a leaving the scene of a property damage accident. That's what he pled guilty to. That is what the prosecutor offered. That is what the defense agreed to. That's what the judge agreed to as well. They all accepted that plea. All right, I'm not going to say anymore. Let's just go. I don't want to get myself in trouble.
That's not what. Oh, this is Freeman. Okay, thanks.
What up,
Let
Philip?
me try to get to Mr. Freeman.
How you doing, buddy?
Are you ready on that? Court calls the case.
All right,
All right.
can I be heard now?
Wow. Okay.
All right, just a little bit. I thought I got that whole part. It was actually a charming thing that happened in the middle of this hearing. The victim's advocate was trying to get this is mom number 3 on video right now, and she was on mute for a long time. They couldn't get her audio to work, and Judge Simpson really wants to hear from everybody. So he was holding, trying to wait for this to, for her to figure her audio out. The victim's advocate actually came out and said, if she leaves the room and comes back, it usually works. And Judge Simpson actually made the comment and said, no. Well, he didn't say no. He said, the victim advocate is now our tech support. All right, let's try it. So this exchange is because the victim's advocate just fixed the tech support issue, and it's charming in the middle of a really tough case.
Remember that. We just learned something today. Okay, let's unmute. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can I be heard now? I am unmuted.
Yep, I can hear you. Does she have another device?
She had YouTube on.
Oh, you gotta turn YouTube down, because otherwise I hear myself twice and I don't even like listening to myself once. So
All right.
I got it? Okay. All right. Now everybody's here. Okay. Did you have a question, ma'am, or something else you want to tell the court? I think you were listening to what I said before.
I would really like for the initial phone report when he called into 911 to be relooked at, because from my understanding in that 911 call, admits to the chase. He admits to turning in the driveway before the railroad tracks, and he admits to seeing some dust. So what dust did you see if they're on a paved road and you're not on a dirt road? The dust you saw was them going over them railroad tracks and crashing.
I thought I had seen so what you're asking me, just so that we're clear, you want me to, if it exists still, you want me to listen to that 911 call?
I would love for you to listen to that 911 call. I mean, I know at this point it's probably not really going to change anything that we're looking at, but at least to get our understanding heard and maybe get a different look at it. It's just, if you're admitting to it and you tell them you turned around in the driveway before the railroad tracks, which is where they crashed, none of it just sits well with anybody.
Okay. Ms. Reiser, does that still exist, that the court could get a copy of the 911 call?
All right, we're right back to this again. These moms are trying to give evidence to the judge. It's a done deal. This is a prosecutor, Prosecutor Reiser. She's very good at her job. She gave a plea deal because that's what she thought she could prove. She could prove that there was a leaving the scene of a property damage accident. She couldn't prove that this guy chased these people and caused their vehicle to crash. She couldn't prove that. And I feel really sorry for everyone involved in this. All these mothers, I feel really sorry. But I do really feel that this is inappropriate for court. And I know Judge Simpson is doing his best to get all the information. And now I'm just repeating myself. But I feel that this is inappropriate. And the fact that the defense attorney is just sitting there, maybe that's the best course of action for this segment of it, because this does get adjourned again. This is not the end of this saga. There will be a part 3. So maybe this is the best course of action for the defense attorney. Maybe, I don't know. But a lot of this does not make sense to me. So I'm not trying to, hate on anybody in their opinions. If somebody can explain to me why this is allowed to happen, or outside of the passion for the mothers and Judge Simpson is trying to give voices heard, which I understand that. They're grieving, I understand that. But what I don't understand the holdup for going back and watching evidence. What is that going to do? The maximum sentence he's going to get is 93 days. And I feel like they're trying to retry this case. And it's not the attorneys doing it, it's the mothers. The mothers are trying to retry this case. That's how I feel. I'm sorry if I upset anyone's feelings, but it's how I feel about the court process. I don't think it's proper.
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. So you want me to listen to the 911?
Yes.
Anything else you want me to?
I mean, I know in the end, it's like I said, probably not going to change anything, but at least we are heard. At least it makes a difference in my eyes that it's heard and it's relooked at.
Okay. I can't, so that you understand, I'm looking at it for the purposes of sentencing, from my standpoint. I can't change, I don't have the authority to change any charging decision, what the plea was, or anything like that. So I want to make sure you understand that that's not why I want to see all of it. I just want to have the correct perspective on it. And if you think that will lead to something where it may change my thought process, then I don't have a problem looking at that, Ms. Smith.
I definitely do.
Okay.
And the only thing that I just want to add is that he had a picture of the license plate from the first accident. When he left, he already had the information he needed to file a police report on it. So that's the only thing I want to add for it.
Okay. So that's the second time that you mentioned that, and I want to make sure I understand what you're trying to tell me on that. So let's say that this picture exists. I'm not disputing that it does. The picture exists on his phone. What do you want me to take from that?
So the charge that you're sentencing on right now is leaving the scene of the accident, the first accident, not the second accident, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so leaving the scene of the first accident, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that we all knew that it wasn't a hit and run, because Ypsilanti had that in their police report, and then when Superior Township Sheriff's Department, they clarified that it was not a hit and run. There was a stop. My daughter and Mr. Torres got out. They had a conversation. He went to the back of the truck. He took a picture with his phone of the license plate. There was also text messages that were sent from the accident that was sent to someone saying she just ran into somebody, and he's taking a picture of the license plate. So that's what made us ask the question, and it was verified that they took his phone, just like they took the girls. They had all the phones and evidence, and there was a picture, according to Detective Yee, that he did have a picture of a license plate in his phone. So technically, he really didn't need to leave the scene of the accident. That's what I'm adding to it.
That he didn't need to leave the scene. Okay.
He had all the information to make a police report, a proper police report.
Right, but he didn't. That's part that. So.
Right. So why did you need to pull off and proceed with the chase when you had all the information?
Well, okay. I hear you, and let's back up a moment, okay? So that you understand. If somebody's involved in an accident, what's really supposed to happen, ideally, is everybody is supposed to remain there and call the police. So what I hear you saying is he could have remained there, but did not.
Mhm.
And had the information that he needed to do the police report. Is
Correct.
that, did I got that?
Yes.
Okay. Right. And I'll probably have to think that through, but I don't know what I would do with that. And the only reason I say that is because I really could say the same for both vehicles.
Well,
You
clearly.
thought, yeah, that both
Mhm.
should have remained there.
Yes.
Having done this for a while, I can tell you that doesn't happen. Usually one is off someplace or nobody does anything. So I mean, I'll think about it, but I don't know really what I would do with that piece, or that I could say.
Can I add something else?
Yes, I just want to, let me just finish this point. I don't know that I could try to sit there and hold Mr. Torres or your daughter to a higher standard than what in practicality happens out there.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
but I'll think it through. I mean,
okay.
okay.
Also the 911 call, I believe, he said he was following them, chasing, whatever the wordage was used. I did not hear the 911 call. But he stated that he was following them, chasing them, whatever, to get their license plate number. Like that was the reason for
Okay,
it.
I see what
And
you're
here you
saying.
had it.
It's irrelevant though. The girls caused the crash. I just pulled up a comment. I don't remember sanity. The girls caused the crash. Apparently there was a lot more to it than we saw in the first video. In part 1, again, linked in the description if you guys want to watch part 1. A lot more is coming out now, but all of these facts are irrelevant. The prosecutor did her job. It's just so it's so hard. So hard. And the moms are fighting really hard for the 93 days in jail is what they're fighting for. But I tell you what, they will withdraw the plea in a second if 93 days in jail gets implemented, because the prosecutor is not going to be able to fight this in court. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I already see it. Judge Simpson's going to feed into this, and 93 days in jail, and they're like, okay, we're withdrawing our plea. That's what I foresee happening. We're going to take this to trial, and then he's going to be found non-guilty on everything. It's sad, but I don't understand the. Okay, let's just go. I keep talking to myself into corners where I'm going to get in trouble.
Oh, so what
I think
you're
more
saying
just
is,
pointing that out.
got it. So what you're saying is the picture was already taken.
Correct.
That's how this flows in. Okay, I see. The picture is already taken, but then at some point in the 911 call, which occurs later, he's claiming that he is following them to get the license plate.
Yeah, because of a hit and run.
Got it.
And again, I did
one-
not.
Or ask one more thing.
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead, man.
Through this whole court situation, my surviving daughter has not been spoken to, and even got to tell her side of any of the situation. The number one key I feel in the whole situation should have been her being the survivor, and she should have been talked to. Is there a reason that she, as the only surviving witness, has not been brought into this?
Hey, let me just stop you there, and that's the one caution that I'm making. I can't wind everything
back.
Mhm.
I can't do that. I can't make these charges become something different. I can't change the plea. I can't do that. And so the question you asked may be a very good one. I don't know, but I'm not involved in the investigation part of these things. So even if I knew the answer to that, I don't know that it would do me much good, because I can't, that would not be my normal bailiwick to operate in.
Yeah, it's just based off of the current charges right now on the misdemeanor for leaving the scene of an accident. That's what where we're at right now.
Right. And so I can't get into anything in the investigation. I can't really get into that. I mean, I can look at things, but I'm only looking at them for the purpose of making sure that I impose the best and most just sentence I can. I mean, that's all I can do.
Yeah, and I think the reason that she brought up the 911 call is because after leaving the scene of the accident, which is what the charge is right now, right? He didn't necessarily have to leave the scene of the accident because he had the information with him, and the kids didn't either, but they're not here to, be charged or whatever else. So she was saying, just listen to it.
I will.
He says that he is speeding. He's doing all these things. He was going for the license plate number, which he already had in his phone.
I will absolutely do what I say I'll do. And so, Ms. Reiser, how long would that take you to get that to Ann so that I can hear that?
I
And
think I can email it. I can try to do that.
Okay. Okay, if you can get that to us, if it has to be on a drive or something, then we'll just have to do it that way. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to hear it. They want me to do that. Is there anything else you
Can we adjourn for you to do that?
Pardon?
Can we adjourn for you to do that? I had a couple other hearings I need to go to, and
You're breaking up on me, counsel. Yes, I'm going to
can we
adjourn the
for you to do
hearing.
that?
Yeah, I will be adjourning it, if that's okay with everybody.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Well, if it's not, that's what I'm gonna do anyway. So I'm gonna adjourn it so that can get to me. I'm sorry, your last name again?
Green.
Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't remember simple names, right? Ms. Smith, Ms. Green, is there anything else you want me to look at, or anything else? And again, I just expressed to both of you, I can only do so much, but I'm willing to do what I can, at least so that you're heard. So if nothing else, and that's not great consolation in the circumstances, but it's all I got. So
Are you able to watch the videos that they have from the campus of the actual first initial rear end?
okay, you want me to watch the videos? Okay, so what would you be asking me to look at regarding that?
Because from my understanding, he also waves them to go around him once they all get back in their vehicles. So if they all get back in their vehicles and he's waving them to go around him, why are you waving them to go around you?
So again, it's irrelevant. I understand that you're hurting. All you're doing is pushing this out further. That's all they're doing. Judge Simpson's doing his best to keep the peace. It's going to come back as deferred prosecution. He's not going to see any jail time, but he's doing the best that he can to make these mothers heard, and that's awesome. This is why we love Judge Simpson. But they're trying to have him hear evidence that's already been pled to. It's already been accepted by the prosecutor. They're talking to the wrong person. They're really talking to the wrong person. You don't go to the judge with these details. You go to the prosecutor. It's really sad, but they're spending all this time, and I think Judge Simpson did not do these mothers a good deed today. I really don't. He gave them hope to possibly get a worse sentence. He can't do that. And he knows it. Which is, look at his face right now. He's like, I'm just trying my best right now to keep everything afloat. And it sucks. It's a really bad day for everyone involved in this incident. But that's what it was. It was a bad day. And it sucks. But the man sitting there waiting to be sentenced now to be prolonged that for the third time. Yeah. That's how I see this.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What would you want me to do with that information? Let's assume that that's true. What would you want me to do or draw from that?
So him leaving the scene of an accident, if you're waving them around, you're basically telling them, go ahead and go. So they leave, you leave, and then you proceed to call 911. If you're waving them to go around, that's basically you saying, go, everything is okay. That's like a setup. So basically you set them up. If you're waving them to go around you, you're basically saying everything is okay. So then you call the police after you wave them to go around you.
Okay, but what do you again, assuming what you're telling me is the truth, what would he be your theory about what he's setting them up for?
We don't know what that's what the initial thing is. Why did you wave them to go around and change? I just want you to look at all aspects before you final sentencing on your decision.
Okay, I mean, I'll look at, I went through stuff, and I'm just gonna let you ladies know I normally don't do this. I get my report, I look at my report, I kind of have my thought process as to what's occurred, and that's what factors into my sentencing. But I'm willing in this instance to go beyond where I would normally go because I want to get it right. Not that I don't want to in other cases, but I want to certainly get it right. It's not going to make everything right for you guys, but like I said, I will look at it. But I again will say, I'm not going to be stressing to the prosecutor, defense counsel, anybody else, or the police that anybody did anything wrong or did any of that, or they should go back and I'm not doing that.
No, we understand that.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to look at it, see what it is, and be able to formulate my decision. And whether you agree with my decision or not, and I tell attorneys this all the time, in some ways I can't be concerned about that, but I just want you to know that I did the best that I can in terms of reaching my decision, that I looked at everything. And that's what I want to look at here. So,
and I appreciate that.
So I will, I'm not clear with regard to looking at that video. I don't know that that video gets me anywhere. I mean, I know that there's the collision. I know there's a contact between the individuals. I know that there is then both vehicles leave. That's what I know. It's really the issue, as I kind of explained from the beginning, what happens from that point when both of them sort of leave, and then the ultimate accident that occurs. That's really kind of where I'm focusing in terms of what I do with this portion of the sentence. So I'm not sure that what you're asking me to look at, I don't know that it will help me in that regard. But if Mr. Reiser, if that's broken apart, I'll look at it. I just don't know that it's going to get me anywhere, but I'll look at it.
You're talking about specifically the cameras from the accident. The first,
Pardon?
You're speaking specifically of the from the camera video footage of the first accident.
Of the first accident.
Okay.
That's what I believe Ms. Smith was talking about.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I don't have a problem. I'll look at it.
And we do appreciate you, and we watched you on YouTube for quite some time at the very beginning of this case. So we kind of understand how you work and
How you understand how I work?
a little bit.
A little bit.
What's that mean, Miss Green?
Just watching you and, giving people opportunities. I mean, I think that you've been very fair in most everything that we've watched. So, and we were hoping that it carried along with you and weren't changed to, different judges at different times.
Well,
So
I appreciate those kind words. I really do. I do. I don't know that I could say much else to that, but that did not fall on deaf ears. Thank you very much for that, man. Okay, so what I will do, Ms. Reiser is going to get those two things to me. My next date will be
February 14th at 9 a.m.
February 14th.
Valentine's Day. Can I don't know if I'm allowed to request, but we tend to have struggles. I'm from the other side of town. So going through rush hour and everything else, coming all
Other
the way
side of
across.
town.
Yeah, Clinton Township.
That's a whole other place. Other side of town is west side of Ann Arbor. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, and then usually we have a group where we got to stop and do ride shares and whatnot.
So, okay, so hold on.
Te-
Hold on.
10 or after.
Hang on. But, hey, Ms. Smith, were you gonna try to make it too?
I will be at the next one, yes.
Okay, so let's do this. Hang on.
I'm coming from downriver, so I'm coming a nice little distance myself as well.
Oh,
we
so
could-
you're coming from way, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Going like this.
No, they want to be here. So just make it, why don't we make it on that date?
Judge,
Okay,
I'm in trial the
so
week of the 14th.
counsel,
Yes, Judge.
will the 14th work for you?
It does not. I'm in trial in Macomb County Circuit Court, Judge Viviano's court for a Bowen's trial.
Okay, so hold on, let's find a date that's gonna work. Just give me a special.
Oh wow, we're actually going to reach out to the attorneys that are handling the case instead of the moms that are running it. Sorry, that was harsh. I should not have said that. You guys want to watch a different video after this? My heart's heavy and I can't handle this and I don't want to end this on this. So if you guys want to hang out for a little bit longer, I'll put on another video after this. But yeah, this is bad.
Although if the court, Judge, if the court allows me to appear via Zoom, I will make that work.
So you can appear via Zoom that day?
Yes, I'll just make sure I let the judge know that of the trial that I have.
Okay. And I guess out of courtesy, I should ask Ms. Reiser, will you be able, but you will be, I know. I was thinking of giving this a switch, February 14th at noon.
That's perfect for me.
Will that work, Ms. Reiser, for you?
I think so, Your Honor.
All right. That will work for you, ladies?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I'll adjourn it to February 14th, 2024, 12 noon.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. You got that for us? Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, folks. That's my 11.
Yes. We call for now.
All right. Yeah. Lot of things happened in that. A lot of things happened. I've already given you my opinions on it. I'm gonna see what else I got. I know I got another video. It was gonna be my premiere for tomorrow, so I'm gonna play it. But if I play this, you have to promise to watch it again tomorrow. And not only watch it, you gotta like it and leave a comment. Just we got to. If you want something else, this is the price you pay.
Sit here and I'm calm and
Oh,
talk
look
about
at this
the
cool
story.
intro.
It's probable.
Go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
All
No
right.
disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I'm not even going to pretend to be making a new intro right now. What's up? What is going on? I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. Oh, the new intro, yeah. Life's busy. Life's busy, and I spend. Yeah, I need to get my new intro out there. I really do. It's because it's good. It's good. All right, we're gonna watch this clip. We're gonna watch this landlord-tenant case. This is Judge Pope. He's a pope or is a pogue? I don't know. He stood in for Judge Washington today. We're gonna watch this clip. This is one of the clips I have for my video for tomorrow. This is my premiere tomorrow. So you will see this again. But because we just watched that really heavy case, we got to end it on a different note. How about having kind of a stuck-up attorney yelling at people? It's always a good, yeah. Yeah, maybe I should stop talking and just play the video. Anyways, this is about a 10-minute video. I'm going to let it play. Well, I'll probably pause it once. But Discord afterwards if you guys want to hang out. And we can talk about that last case because that last case is brutal. So Discord afterwards. Let's go.
4080.
Yes, Your Honor, Nicholas Rhino Boleski appearing on behalf of Faha Properties.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Rohit Badri, and I'm here with my co-counsel, Janice Witherspoon. We're requesting to practice under Michigan Court Rule 8.120. My supervising attorney, David Santa Croce, is present with us as well.
Very well. Good afternoon to all of you and welcome. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you, Judge.
So what's the case about and what's the status of it today?
Your Honor, first off, I've received no appearance in this matter from anybody. So do they have an appearance on file with the court?
Your Honor, to clarify, I believe that we had filed that yesterday afternoon and we had confirmation that it had been filed successfully.
I think that's right.
Could you imagine showing up to court thinking that the person that you were, this is a landlord-tenant case. Believe it. Yeah, this is landlord-tenant. This guy showed up to court thinking that he was going to, possibly get a default judgment, and 3 attorneys showed up from the University of Michigan. Oh, it changes things. It changes a lot of things for him. And also, I can see his frustration, but it's hilarious.
Just received it ourselves.
I'm just wondering why that wasn't sent to my office. I mean, they could have easily served that.
I'm assuming you sent a copy to the attorney?
Yes, Your Honor. Always.
Okay.
Anyways, Your Honor, this is a case that was stayed for 14 days pursuant to the Michigan court rules, even though over our objections that Ms. Peak had not followed the court rules in regards to getting said extension. Nonetheless, the 14 days have expired. Our office has not received anything indicating she's taken any further steps or received approval for funding at this time. We'd be asking for a judgment.
Your Honor, I actually believe that we have filed with the court. Ms. Peak had filed by herself on Monday before she had signed any documentation that we would officially be her representation. She filed a status update as to her rental assistance applications. We recently filed that as well this morning. The status updates were current as of January 22nd, and they are still pending at this moment.
All things, once again, that should have been served on me. My email is on all the pleadings, and we wouldn't be having this argument, but nonetheless, here we are. I was not given any notice that she's completed anything, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
Everything was completed in the
Yeah.
time period that I was instructed I was legally allowed to do so.
But
And
that
no one's
has,
saying,
I love it. I love it. This bully of attorney comes in and is like, no, I wasn't summoned. I wasn't given this. I wasn't given that. And then the defendant comes in and it's like, you know what? I did this legally. Calm down, dude. I love it. We need more people like this. Like she just killed it right there.
no one's saying that you didn't, but the plaintiff's attorney is quite right. He needs to get that stuff himself so that he can confirm it himself. Which is, pretty basic stuff. And Consul, I'll let you know that we just received that as well.
Yes, absolutely. We just, I believe, signed a retainer and began representation as of Wednesday. And I understand that that's important to counsel. We'll be making sure that that information and communication is more clear going forward. And I sincerely apologize, for any delay on your part. This was not intentional. This was just something very fast paced.
What are you seeking today, Ms. Witherspoon, insofar as an adjournment?
Today, we were seeking an adjournment. We were hoping for 14 days, noting the status of some of her different applications. Ms. Peak currently has an appointment set for Hawk on January 30th. She also has applications in for Friends Indeed that is still pending. She also has applications in for MI Bridges program and SER. As we're continuing to wait for those, we believe that it is just going to be a better use of everyone's time to wait to hear how that process pans out.
Joe Beluski, do you prefer the 7 days, or do you want to go to the 14 and?
Your Honor, let me, 1 second, I want to double check that court rule, because she's already got the 14 days. I believe she's only entitled, if I remember, and this is why I say I want to check the court rule. I don't recall the exact number she's entitled to, but I believe there's only 2 stays. So
I believe it's rule 4.201I interim orders, if counsel wanted to check.
I love it. I love it. This guy, again, he was not prepared for this. He thought that he was going to get an easy judgment. Defendant shows up with counsel, not just counsel, but comes from when Judge Simpson actually laughs when he has the University of Michigan pop into his courtroom, because they immediately go for the throat. They will look up every single court rule. They will ask for a jury trial on day 1. And Judge Simpson was like, yeah, that's just what they do. You just got to be ready for it. This guy's not ready for it, but he's not used to being bullied. And he tries really hard to maintain his bully status during this with the 2 students. And it's awesome. It's hilarious.
I believe as long as those applications are pending, especially if they are through the Department of Human Health Services, and there's been written process served to the court, that we are entitled then to 14 days generally.
That's the court's understanding.
Your Honor, I mean, I guess I would leave it to the court's discretion. I don't want to charge my client to keep coming back and coming back and coming back.
I'm sensitive to that as well.
And so the court is aware, this is not the first time that this has happened where I received no information. That's my biggest complaint here. My email is on all my pleadings. This is, I don't know how, this is the second time that I get surprised the day of the hearing that my client's going to have to stay this again. I mean, there has to be, the rules.
I see you out there. I see you. Never said judges aren't used to being bullied. I never said that. Never said anything about judges being bullied. We're talking about attorneys. Oh, I've been waiting for you to show up, man. I've been waiting. Mr. Lanto. Mr. Felipe Lanto is in the house. Everybody, do me a favor. Don't say hi to him. This dude's weird. He's a weirdo. I'm just kidding. You can say hi to him. I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. Just be careful. Just be careful.
Sets out oversight.
Well,
for-
I have been in contact
Hold
with
on,
Adam.
I am
Actually-
speaking.
Ms. Peak, hold on a sec. Let the attorney finish.
One of my biggest complaints that I put on the record the last time is that court rule requires that certain things be done.
And where's your sister at? She's I love that your sister has such a level head and you're kind of just out there. I love it. Yeah, I didn't even know you had a channel, man. You have a channel? That's cool. It's cool. I applaud you for the courage it takes to start a channel. It is difficult. It is difficult to do. But I'm glad you decided to jump in the chat and let us know that you know you're trying. And that's good. That's good. I applaud that.
Within 7 days, it wasn't previously done properly. The court still granted the stay. Now we're talking about another stay. She hasn't paid my client since September.
That's not true.
Actually,
I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at sorry, Your Honor, I read the wrong link. She hasn't paid my client since October of 23. There's 40.
That's not true either.
There's
Ms. Peak, just a sec.
over $6,000 due and owing at this point in time, and my client's continually getting billed by me having to appear. So, I mean, I think that since she's not following the court rule, she shouldn't get another stay.
Your Honor, if I may for a moment. I wanted to clarify, first off, Ms. Peak actually has been paying and she made 3 separate payments in December for the amount of $500, $300, and then $500 again to try to reconcile the rent. I just wanted to clarify the record there. And additionally, I share the same concern with counsel that appearances are very costly. But noting the current status of her pending applications, I actually think that we can save by appearances by adjourning for 14 days. The applications can be processed and we'll actually know the status of things, rather than having everybody come back when we still have things up in the air and applications pending.
Well, thank all
Once
of you.
again, Your
I will
Honor,
say-
I'd have no problem with that if the court rules were followed. However, nobody has decided to serve my office with anything, which, I mean, it's completely inappropriate. And all we're doing is rewarding her for bad behavior. And personally, I think that basically what you're saying is, hey, we have court rules. We don't need to follow.
Thank you. There's somebody here from
OCED.
From OCED.
Your Honor, I work closely with some of the helping agencies. One of the questions for one of the pending applications she has is that they noticed that the late fees they deemed them excessive, and they wanted to know why the late fees are $300 a month. It is impacting her.
All right, we're gonna end it at that. We're gonna end it. That was your little teaser for your video tomorrow. It's already scheduled for tomorrow. I'll put it out. You'll get the rest of it. I'm gonna call it a night, kinda. I'm gonna jump over to Discord. I don't want my chat becoming a paradise for weirdos. So we're gonna call it a night. If you guys want to chat, you know what? Mr. Joshua, if you want to come talk, you can come to my Discord and we can talk. But I'm not going to talk to you over on my channel. I'm not going to give you that space. We're all weirdos here. I generally give weirdos a space, but yeah, not going to give you the space. So everybody, thank you all for watching. If you want to come hang out with us, we're jumping to Discord and we'll hang out there. But if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Do your job. Yeah, no shit, you're not doing Discord. Like, because people screenshot everything you do and you're terrified. I know, man. I get it. I get it. You're terrified of everybody. Understood. Which is why you have to come to my channel and try to get information on people that don't care about you, man. All right. With that, I'm out.